a week, still not consistent enough, in my opinion.
Hmm.
Um, but then, then sometimes I'd skip a week, and then I was posting every week consistently. And then
Still not.
as of today, I've officially done 30 days straight without missing a post.
Mm,
Um,
nice.
so I feel like that's a pretty big milestone, and it really is weird. It's like, God, um, I hate how the what is it, like the cliche knowledge out there, like everyone's like just post, like, God, it it's not all of the answer, but it certainly starts there. And you don't even get like off the ground until you develop. Like I can see where I was 30 days ago, and I'm like, oh, I get it now.
Hmm.
Like
Hmm.
just getting that muscle consistent enough where um, like right now, like my ideation process is still kind of it's really it's in the works,
Hmm.
we'll say. But like before we hopped on here, I was making editing a piece of content that less than an hour ago didn't even have the idea for.
Mm.
So now like I can edit, shoot, and or you know ideate, script, edit, and almost shoot a video in about an hour,
Hmm.
which that used to be like a multi-hour process.
Hmm.
Um, so yeah, like that's kind of where I'm at. But as far as like, still really just trying a lot of things, trying talking heads, trying green screens, trying React videos, playing around with different formats to see what I can do to engage with the audience more and or get an audience. And yeah, I mean, just kind of that's where I'm at. So um, constantly trying to like rework, more on like the marketing pain point topic side of things, which I know is a big part of it,
Hmm.
but also like the uh, the actual copywriting scripting side, which I know there isn't. I understand now that it's not this is the thing missing. It's that everything adds 1 or 2%, and
Hmm.
it's just about up leveling all of the things simultaneously, which is the hard part.
Beautiful. Beautifully said. Beautifully said. Chat, I'll repeat a little bit of what Dalton's been saying. Dalton, can you remind me? You mentioned that you started. Did you say you started your account July last year, or you started posting July last year? Because I know you then said that you've been posting for 30 days straight. So I want to clarify that confusion before I keep talking.
Yeah, so my first post, this is an old account that I've had up for years, but my first post was officially like, I think it was, yeah, I think it was mid-August
Okay.
of last year.
First post was mid August. Okay, got it. And so that was when you were like, first step, you're maybe posting once a month, let's just say, or once a week, and then you tried to get to 2 a week, then 3 a week, right? That's when you started to ramp up your consistency there.
Yeah, and I would
Okay.
say like a lot of that was like, I'd get a couple, the some weeks were good, and sometimes there'd be multiple weeks in between where I did nothing. So, um, yeah, that was just kind of like getting in the muscle and like getting out of that initial analysis paralysis of making content.
Okay. Okay. July 2025. All right. And so walk me through the transition where you're posting a couple times a week, and then what made you decide? You said for the past 30 days you've been posting every single day. It seems like something switched in your mind, possibly, where you're like, hey, I need to take this a little bit more seriously.
Well, so I am in a business mentorship,
Okay.
and one of the many things that's covered in that is talking about content and also like the inner side of things, like just the mental game of it all, um, and was on a coaching call, and I kind of brought a frustration to one of the coaches about feeling like this, like feeling like I was stuck, and basically he just kind of like put me on the spot as far as like he was like, okay, well we're gonna act like you're shooting a piece of content right now,
Mm-hmm.
and I was like, okay, and so I did it, and then there's something clicked in that moment where I was like, just there's like not that the fear of making content is like completely went away, but is like when you beat a level in a video game and you're like, oh, I know how to beat that boss now. And so that just like really was freeing after that, where I was like, okay, now I know how to like, we're just going to double down. And then I ended up doing like 20 posts the week after and
Mm,
um, backed off a little bit just because I didn't want to burn out, especially with like not really knowing like how to do this well. So I was like, okay, we're just rather than like same way you think about fitness, rather than going super hard every week until you burn out. I was like, let's
hmm
just pick something sustainable, and I just decided one post a day is something that I could easily do, and I took the pressure off myself of like some of the posts are just like B-roll with text, but just like what is the lowest barrier of entry that I can, the lowest win conditions I can make for myself.
hmm Perfect. Perfect. Love that. It's exactly what we were talking about with Germ. If Germ's in the chat, you can probably resonate with what Dalton's saying. Um, Sorry, I was looking at the chat. I see you were talking. I was like, wait a second, what was happening? But yeah, starting off consistently, like you said, lowest effort type of content, just so you can build the muscle. Always a good sign. You mentioned you were talking with basically a mentor or a coach who talks a lot about content. What are your goals with content? What made you decide this is the avenue that I'm going to pursue, even if it's hard?
Well, I mean, the goal is to ultimately build an online fitness business. Um, and content is just it is probably the best tool that we have to promote ourselves these days. Um, so yeah, that was just like, I guess what it comes down to is like, I want to really have an impact in helping people live healthier lives. And, um, yeah, I'm willing to go through the discomfort to do that.
Beautiful. Beautiful, Dalton. Okay. Chat, let me know. You guys can hear Dalton okay? Everything's good? I do relate? Awesome. Awesome. Cool. All right. So right now I'm just documenting some notes before I start giving you some of my thoughts here, Dalton. Um, so it sounds like your main issues, as you can see in the notes here, you started posting content. You started feeling stuck with like what to do. That you mentioned the fear of not knowing how to do this well. You didn't want to burn out, so you didn't want to like put a ton of effort in and then not be able to post, and then the effort goes to waste. Are there any other fears, struggles, concerns that you had when you first started or that you have now?
Yeah, I mean, I think all the stuff you listed there was, I'd say, while it's not like, oh, I wouldn't say it's something that you're ever like, I'm completely over this. You just learn how to manage the feeling, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, but I'd say that's stuff that's much less of an issue now. I'd say the bigger issue is like starting to get more into the tactical and the knowledge realm of like, how do I play the game well?
Would you say that you're maybe overwhelmed? I'm going to write this in as an assumption, but like you might be overwhelmed by how much advice is out there for the tactical aspect of
I'd
content.
Yeah, I'd say that's accurate.
The reason why I mention that is because that like this is also good data for me, like to know who's following me, because this is where I was. So I like to think when I'm making content that I'm making content for my younger self, and it sounds like a lot of you guys that have been talking to me have the same problems that I have or had, still have, but had definitely. One of them being overwhelmed by the advice on how to get better, and so it like I get into this analysis paralysis, which you mentioned, and obviously if I don't do anything, then it doesn't, it's not helpful for my growth on my page. So okay, cool. Is there anything else worth mentioning before we dive into some step by steps here, Dalton? Anything that I'm worth noting, because I want to make sure I have full context before I dive a certain direction.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I guess just to expand on the overwhelmed by advice piece, it's just like there's so many things where it's like, do I have to worry about hooks? Do I have to worry about
Mm,
visuals? Or like when it comes to hooks, is it text hooks? Is it visual hooks? Is it um like like do we need the super hook?
Yeah.
What actually gets retention?
Right.
Uh, like, and is it the what is the like there seems to be also like two things in like at odds with each other, and that's the scripted video land
Yep.
and the free form
Yep.
land.
Yep.
And then like what does authenticity mean in both of those?
Yep. So, chat, first off, let me know if you relate to Dalton. This is the exact reason why I made that piece of content about the levels of content is for what Dalton just said. So I talked about this yesterday. I'm gonna reiterate this on every time I'm talking to someone. The reason why I made that post about different levels of content, and hopefully it was helpful for you, Dalton, or for other people in the chat to think about it in this frame, is because of what Dalton just said. He's trying to get better at content. There is an entire camp that says like go unscripted. There's an entire camp saying go scripted. There's an entire camp saying post 10 times a day. There's also an entire camp saying post once a day. There's an entire camp saying steal viral hooks. There's an entire camp saying don't do that. And so like I can go on and on and on. And that was why I made that video about there's levels to the game, because all the advice that people are saying works to different audiences. If I'm speaking to, let's say my audience was just all grandmas, I'm not going to tell all of my, like, I'm going to use grandmas as just like an extreme example for you guys to understand. Like, if I'm speaking to all 80-year-old women, I'm not going to tell them to go and steal viral hooks. I'm going to say, okay, you should just go unscripted, literally just post. Like I'm going to give them a different piece of advice for what level they're at. I'm not going to tell them to go and find certain topics. I'm not going to go and tell them to find X, Y, and Z. And so everyone tells you to do a million things. It depends on where you're at in the journey. It sounds like where you're at, Dalton. Tell me a little bit about, before I like give you a prescription, tell me a little bit about how you spend your day. Like, do you spend, and what I mean, I'll give you a little bit of context here, is how much time do you spend on content versus how much time you spend on your business? Because this is another thing too. If I tell you to go and do an entire research brief and then go and script and do viral hooks and super hooks, you're going to quickly become more of a creator than a business owner, So I want to know how you first spend your day so I can give you maybe more tailored advice.
Yeah, well, so I do like I have like a day job that I do outside of creating the business. So,
Okay.
you know, uh, at least five days a week I do that.
Okay.
Um, and then I have like some private clients scattered throughout the week.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and uh, and then from there it's just like my time. So like some of it, probably 5 hours a week I spend on furthering my own like fitness knowledge and education.
Okay.
Um, then there's probably probably 5 hours a week that I'm in the gym myself.
Okay.
Um, and then there's like all your whatever, personal stuff, cooking, cleaning, that stuff.
Yep.
And then beyond that, I make it a point to just somehow carve out even an hour every day. Like I'm like, okay, this is my hour this day. I don't know how yet, but a piece of content's going out during that time.
Okay.
So that's basically where I'm at. I don't have any online clients, so I guess the bright side of that is I have a lot more free time to focus on content. But
Sure.
yeah, so really that's kind of what I do is like I just look to try and keep it like I need like I definitely be open to like picking a day to just do more time like batch content.
Yep.
But in the past when I've batched content, um I found that I end up just making several videos at whatever that week's quality is, rather than having the opportunity to learn and iterate off of the previous day's video. So that's why I kind of stopped doing that, because it's like, okay, now I just have, 10 videos that are done, but they're all like they're all in 300 view jail. So
Sure. Sure. And the reason why I ask is not as a trick question. This is simply for me to understand, because again, the next words that I say to you could be very helpful. It could be very unhelpful depending on how you spend your time. For example, with Gurm from yesterday, if I would have told Gurm when he was struggling with like articulating his thoughts or just like posting every single day, if I would have told him to go and do all this research and study viral hooks and do the super hooks and all this stuff, it would be unhelpful. It would actually be on the opposite end of helpful. It would probably detract him further from making content because he'd be more overwhelmed. So now that I understand that, like, okay, you dedicate basically an hour a day to making content, that's fine. Again, there's no rules to any of this game. Okay, so an hour a day for content. How do you come up with your ideas for the videos?
So that's where the process is still in flux. Like I have like a document that I filled out per the mentorship I'm in,
Mm-hmm.
um, but it's kind of like a like a flow charty thing.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but I'm actually like I filled it out and then nothing there really resonated with me. So I'm, like it's kind of like a draft that I'm not really looking at. But
Mm-hmm.
so eventually I'm going to redo that. But um, a lot of times it's kind of like I'm kind of just like throughout the day, something will come out of the ether and I'll put it in a notepad and sometimes I'll write a couple thoughts down about how to expand on it.
Mm-hmm.
I notice I'm starting to think in like hooks. I don't know if that makes sense.
Okay.
um, but yeah, so I guess the as far as like the ideation process, it's not really a process. It's pretty random.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and then like I'm constantly consuming more content online. So it's like, yeah, I came across a video a while, not too long ago, talking about like topics,
Mm-hmm.
and the guy gave it. He had like some freebie thing that he gave away that was like a Claude thing that helps identify if the basically if the idea is top of funnel, middle funnel, bottom of funnel.
Yep.
And so his thesis was that if you're not getting enough views, it's because you're talking to bottom of funnel and you need to talk to top of funnel. So I've been using that the last couple of days to kind of like check an idea to
Mm-hmm.
see if it's higher up the funnel.
Mm-hmm.
And so then, like today I just created a video, which was just like, um, what, what was it actually? What's actually keeping you from losing weight was the hook and what the video is about. Um, so
This one,
that
right?
one's,
The reaction one? I don't know if you can see my screen or not.
oh no, so it's mid editing. Yeah. So I don't
Oh,
have it on the Instagram just yet.
okay. 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 And by the way, like I'm asking you all these questions. None of these questions are trick questions. Just FYI, this is also for the chat too. This is just for me to understand, because I like as you're talking, I'm thinking about okay, this is I remember being in this position too. So when you have this document of ideas when you are going throughout your day, you probably have like a notes app or something or some way that you just document a thought that comes to you. Do you do any of
Yeah,
that?
it's just
Yeah,
all in notes right now.
totally fine. Totally fine. Okay. All ideas are on notes. And then what's the process once you have an idea? And for chat too, just so everyone's aware, like I'm going to be asking a lot of questions for Dalton up front because again, when I give you the actions to take, Dalton, I want it to be as relevant to you as possible. So hopefully this doesn't feel like an interrogation and you're like, I'm waiting for the advice. I can't give you the exact roadmap yet until I understand the entire process. And what I've found through my journey is that the process from ideation to making the video, so everything before, is the most important for me personally. So like what that guy's saying about the topics, I have also found from my experience based on the data on my page that the topic, as well as I'll get into some other things too, but the topic, yes. I mean, I've done tests on my page and like, is the topic the most important thing? I have every single time so far. I've found that to be the case. But again, we'll get into more of the prescription step by step in a second. Walk me through when you have the idea, you have it, you write it down on your notes, and then how do you come up with the video? Do you then like try to find a hook for the idea, or do you try to structure it, or you just kind of just film when the ideas come to your mind? Anything that you say, by the way, is totally fine. I'm not saying anything's right or wrong.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, and for the record, like I don't at all feel like this is interrogation. No,
Good,
I
good,
actually really appreciate you taking the time to like
good.
ask the questions because to me that's a marked, it shows that you're actually skilled in the nuance of this stuff. So it's all cool with me.
Perfect.
Um, but when it comes to like, so I come up with like a topic, right?
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes the hook, like you can see on those last two, right? Uh, the top two, middle and right,
Mm-hmm.
like those are, something where I came up with that hook later, but usually like something throughout the day will come up with an idea, and then I try and think about like what do what do I want to teach about,
Mm-hmm.
like um so like usually with that idea, something struck me like with a pain point. Like I think for that middle one, it was like it was just a pain point being like people who try a bunch of different diets and they don't lose the weight.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so, and I think that was one that I actually punched into that Claude bot thing that I was telling you about.
Okay.
Um, but yeah, so and then I try and come up with like something that I can teach, something I can leave the viewer with in um, in about a minute.
Okay.
Um, but yeah, and then from there, like I think that's where I also get a little hung up is like the words I say from one end to the other it's probably still a little word salady.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm, sometimes some sentences or thoughts are clearer or better communicated than others, and sometimes I'm like, that it doesn't feel right, but like I
Yep.
don't have my finger on the pulse on what is not right about it,
Yep.
or what about it feels off.
Yep.
And that's where like I'm trying to blend like a lot of my things. It's like I have edits in between the things that I'm saying, but also it's unscripted. So I'm
Okay.
kind of like, yeah, that's where I get in and I'm like, okay, like, I've seen the thing about it's like, okay, you should script your thing more, but then like, what there's the advice of like you have your script and then you memorize only one line and then you say it, and then there's other things where it's like have a script, but use it as more of like a bullet point thing. If you go off, it's okay.
Yep.
And then there's people who say like only use like literal bullet points, and
Yeah.
then work on like that's kind of what the higher up wellness dude says.
Yep.
Yeah, so
And again, I will reiterate 1,000 times, chat. This is the purpose of my page. This is why I'm trying to document the journey live, so that we can all avoid this confusion that Dalton is describing to me. I have this conversation every day with people that are confused by what to do. And like what Dalton is describing is he is just starting his page and he's trying to go to level 10 right now. Like he's trying to figure out the scripting techniques. He's trying to figure out the frameworks. He's thinking that, and I'm not saying that this is wrong, Dalton, because I was in the same spot that you were in. When I was in like 200 view jail, I was trying to study as much content as possible. And I was telling someone in the chat, I don't know if it was Germ, it might have been Josh yesterday, that like at the stage that you're at, because again, on my account, I was in this stage literally 2 months ago. When I was in this position 3 months ago, me consuming advice had diminishing returns. The more advice that I consumed from people, the more and more confused I got, which made me less and less motivated to make content. And so again, I mean, for everyone here, that's why I'm I'm trying to experiment. I'm trying to document everything that I'm doing live, and you guys just take it or leave it. You guys can see my mistakes live. You can hear what I'm doing. In your case, Dalton, everything that you've said that people are saying is 100% true. Like, it all works. Everything works. Every piece of advice I've seen works. Like, I've tested a ton. Just, again, it matters on sequences. Here's what I will say. Just first glance, this is something that I do on my page quite often, especially when I was like in 200 view jail. I do this very, I'm like very brutal about this, and this might be helpful too, because like, let's throw away all the scripting for a second. Let's throw away all the GPTs. Let's throw away all the topics. Let's throw away all of that for just 1 second. And let's all just look at the text that you have on screen before even looking at the videos. Because like, this is a very simple tactical thing. Like, this is a 1% improvement that you can make before we start talking about like scripting and super hooks and all these different tactics. This is one thing that we can do to just get 1% better, which is this text on screen here. I will say, like, when I read this one for the first, like, I've had to read this a couple times because I wasn't really sure like what this meant. Same thing with this one. I think I understand having a balanced diet. But one thing that you might benefit from before we even talk about like specific tactics to try is to, how can we make the text on screen as clear as possible, as well as include maybe a dream outcome that you know a large audience wants. For example, like this one to me is your best one so far in terms of the text on screen. For me personally. Now, I'm not an expert. You guys know that. I say that a million times. But this is something that I do on my page. It's a good exercise that I do. It might be a good exercise. You might find value in doing this, Dalton. Is because like, I understand without even clicking on this. And again, like if I'm scrolling, the first thing that I'm going to look at when I'm looking at content myself is the text on screen. And so if it's confusing, a guy who's much smarter than me, Chris Chung, who's also in this, he's featured in this document that I'll send this to you, Dalton. This guy right here. He talks about there's
his stuff's pretty cool.
He's incredible. He talks about there's like three main reasons why people skip your videos. It's either confusing, I can't remember what the second one is now that I think about it. Confusing, something, and then boring. I was gonna say uninteresting, but it's not. There's a different word that he has for it. And this has been true for me too. Like this, I understand what we're trying to do here, right? Like it's like a stupid way to lose fat, right? And this, pretty clear to me. It's also like a buzzword that I see a lot on the internet, so people understand what this means.
Right.
You hate the food in your diet. Like I get, I can understand where you're coming from just on first impressions, but I don't know if I have like any incentive to watch the video necessarily. There's not really like yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, no, I'm actually really glad that you brought up the thing about the text hooks, because that is something that's been top of mind for me, I'd say the last couple of weeks, that I've been trying to play around and try something different. Mm-hmm. I'm just like, honestly at a loss for like I'm pretty much just throwing spaghetti against the wall.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
And I have a couple like videos and things that I've seen where it's like, okay, you know, explaining some theory on how to like make a hook.
Yep.
But it doesn't seem to connect whenever I try and put it in practice.
So I'm not going to claim that I am the hook expert. You guys can see my videos. I don't have million view videos every single day. But one thing that I do religiously practice is, how can I make the text hook as simple as possible to understand? So for example, like this one, and this is the problem, Caleb Ralston, another much smarter guy than myself, he talks about like the problem that experts have a lot of the times. Like I can tell you already that you have a lot of knowledge and experience in fitness coaching, because like this text to me, I have no idea what this means. Like why is, and I'm not, by the way, like this, hopefully this doesn't come across as like harsh criticism. I don't mean it that way, but I mean like, I think like I understand what a metabolism is, but I don't know what it means to decrease. And like that is an example of,
that's so interesting.
I understand that from your point of view, you might have written that text hook to be like, oh, people would be curious to learn more, but to me, I'm just confused. And so, like, I don't know what I'm going to, when I'm confused, I don't know what I'm going to get from the video. And so I'm not going to continue watching. So,
Right.
for example, like, again, and for everyone that's watching, like, I'll say it a million times, I'll beat you guys down with a hammer until you guys understand. Like, I don't claim to be an expert. My videos don't get hundreds of thousands of views. But, for example, like, this is a good one. It makes sense why, like, this one's sitting at, like, 70,000 views in trial reels right now. And it's very clear, like, avoid these yap mistakes, killed my reach. Just by reading this, like, a lot of people understand what they're going to get from watching this video.
Mm.
You know, it's very clear. Obviously, like, I have a dream outcome here. The idea here is, like, if you watch this video, you know, you can avoid mistakes, but people understand what they're getting from watching this. Same thing with, like, I guess, like, this right here. Does this advice actually work? Like, I try to make my text hooks as simple as possible to understand. Like, double your views with trial reels. Like, this guy's video got a million views or something. It's very clear. Like, okay, dream outcome, trial reels. It's a very clear sentence. People understand what they're going to get from it. Versus like, why is your metabolism decreasing? I didn't know that it was, and I don't know what it means to increase. You know?
Right.
But
Okay,
like,
so could we maybe practice like re-engineering the metabolism
yeah, yeah,
decreasing one? So
yeah,
like see if I can lock in the concept.
yeah.
So okay, so uh like what I'm trying to communicate is like people are gaining weight,
Okay.
right? And your metabolism has a lot to do with why you're gaining weight. And the short answer is if you have less muscle, your metabolism is slower. So
Okay.
the end point of that video is like basically if you're building more, if you have more muscle, you're going to burn more calories, and it's going to be easier to maintain or lose weight.
Okay.
Um, so I can already see now that you've pointed it out, like how that's already like 3 layers too deep for most people. Um, and so if I'm thinking about this right, then I need to basically bring it up to the level of like what they're feeling, and that would make them want to care about what a metabolism is in the first place.
This exercise that I'm describing to you is, like, to put it very simply, is how can I make this as simple as possible? So if what you're saying, like, when you said the point of this video is that when you have less muscle, you said something like you're secretly gaining weight. That immediately, when you said that phrase, I'm like, oh, okay, so this is the point of the video. You're actually secretly gaining weight, you know? And so we'll do a search on Instagram so I can show you, and we'll see if there's any videos that are doing well with like that as the topic. But this is I think an exercise before you start studying a ton of creators that might benefit you, is how can I make this as simple as possible to understand? For example, like, also the second thing paired with it is there something that someone can, like, take away from this video that would cause someone to maybe share the video? Like, you hate the food in your diet. I don't know why, like, I don't know really why I would watch it, but maybe if you changed it to, like, let's say, how to lose weight while eating junk food, right? Obviously, like, that's a very simplified version of what this is, I imagine, maybe to some degree.
Well, so that video is about how like if you don't like the food on your diet, then you're always going to cheat with like
Mm.
pizza or fast food.
Okay, so this is a perfect conversation, because then, like, when you explain the video, I'm like, oh, okay, that makes sense. Like, because for me, I am, and also I should probably caveat that, like, you are trying. Who's your, like, ideal person to watch your videos? Just like
Um,
men in general.
yeah, I mean that bio is not updated. Like that's just what I have there. But like really, it's like people who um, it's basically people who never thought they would be in shape, who have like a significant, or never thought, or people who don't think getting fit is possible for them,
Got it.
who have a significant amount of weight to lose, so 50 plus pounds.
Got it. So a simple exercise for everyone in the chat, because this is something that I am practicing myself, is how can I just dumb down as much as possible. Like the reason, and I can say this as, again, more an authoritative position, because just so you guys are aware, and Dalton, I'll get into some real like valuable maybe information here for you. Just so you guys are aware, if anyone were to scroll on my page, I have hundreds of videos where I'm speaking. When you were saying bottom of funnel, Dalton, I was speaking just to one specific person that I used to work with a lot of realtors back in the day. They all need content. They were people that I used to work with. I had like a real estate media company at a time. Don't do that anymore. But when I was making very specific videos for that person, my language was very specific that only these types of people would know. My views on all of these videos were at like 200, 300 views. The more I can dumb down the language, obviously it's going to appeal to a broader audience. Obviously we need to keep the people you want to work with in mind, but if you're trying to get out of 300 view jail, it's one of the things that I would prescribe as a potential reason is just because of the language that's being used. For example, like the metabolism decreasing is a perfect example. Like only, my assumption is that only people that understand that a metabolism increasing or decreasing is a bad or good thing would watch this video and understand it. Like even me talking to you, like I am basically like a probably like a 12-year-old in terms of my knowledge of what you talk about compared to you. And so the simple exercise here is, how can I dumb down the content? How can I simplify it as much as possible so that I can get out of the 200 view jails? Now, again, your goal might not be to go viral. Like your goal might be to get clients. That's why you're making content. But you also might want to consider, again, this is not advice, this is just an observation that I've made. I've noticed that there was a year that I spent in 2025 on another account where I was like, I don't care about views. I don't want to go viral. I don't want to do any of that. And so I'm only going to make content for this specific person. And so I spoke in very complex language. And it did nothing for the page. I spent a year basically making content that was at 200 views. I didn't get any of the people I wanted because the videos didn't reach the people I wanted, even though I was using very specific language. So the moment I started to adopt rather, a little bit more simpler language, my videos started to push out to more people, which then in turn, I'm now talking to you guys in the chat, and you guys are all, so far, the people that I'm talking to fit who I am, which is a perfect fit, you know. So there's a blend to it. But what I'm saying here is a simple exercise for you to go through is, how can I simplify the language? For example, like why it feels impossible to lose 50 pounds with online fads. What is the topic of this video here?
So, God, I don't even remember what I said in that video.
Do you want to play it?
Sure. Yeah, I'm cool with that.
All right, let's play it. Let's see.
Probably wondering why losing 50 pounds feels impossible, and why trying keto, carnivore, intermediate fasting, or whatever diet fad of the week that you found online.
Oh, you can't hear anything? Chat, can you hear anything? Oh, I know why you're not hearing anything, Dalton. Hold on. Chat, let me know if you can hear Dalton's video. How about now, Dalton?
It doesn't seem to work. Yes, 3 years ago I lost 100 pounds, so you're going to want to listen to this. The thing you have to understand about why so many people will give credit to one singular change as the thing that helps them achieve their dietary goals is, for a lot of people, it is. When you're only trying to lose 10 or 20 pounds, you're a lot closer to having the right habits and systems in your life that you need to get to your goal weight. But when you're trying to lose 50 plus 100 pounds, you are a lot farther away from the habits that you need in order to reach your goal weight. So for most people, they only need that one little shift in order to reach their goal, because they're already here and they're trying to get to here. But if you're losing 50 plus 100 plus pounds, you're way out here and you need to take more steps to reach your goal. And that's why.
Okay. So is this, again, I mean, hopefully this is valuable feedback for you, because I'm watching this and I'm still trying to think of like what is the premise of this video. My assumption is that if you set too high of goals, it becomes harder to achieve because there's like too many steps maybe, versus like if you just try to lose 10 pounds at a time.
Interesting. This is interesting to me to
Again,
actually
like,
get live feedback from like what somebody hears off the words that I say.
Hopefully, that's why I'm saying like hopefully
Yeah.
this is helpful. I know I'm not giving you like the step by steps yet. This
No,
hopefully
this is super helpful.
I'm trying
Yeah.
to open your eyes a little bit because this was, and Tiago's in the chat, he can tell you, a huge revelation for me. I literally spent years making content that I knew exactly what the words meant. I knew exactly what my ideas meant. I knew the sentences, like I understood the premise, but they were all at 200 views because then when I watched it or I showed someone else who knew nothing about what I knew, they're like, I don't even know what this video is about. And so I realized, oh shoot, I'm speaking so much about like very advanced content stuff that only people like me, like a very, very small percentage of like content nerds would even resonate. But then I'm also assuming that the content nerds would understand my chain of thought, you know? So it's like,
Yeah.
it was a revelation. So that's why I'm saying like, I'm giving you this feedback because truthfully, like when I watched that video, I am thinking that this is about, it's harder to lose 50 pounds than it is to lose 10 because it's a farther away goal. And if that's not the intention with what you're making, then that's why I'm saying this could be a good exercise on like, how can we simplify
Yeah.
it?
Well, that's you're like partially right there. So I feel a little better knowing that you at least got that,
Yeah,
that
of course.
much out of
Of course.
the video. But yeah, no, this is first of all, this is super eye opening because this is advice that I've heard before, but you just sometimes you're like, yeah, no, I'm not doing that, and then you're just not there's a disconnect between your ability to reflect on what you've done and what how you see yourself.
Yeah.
But so essentially, yeah, the idea is that like if you're only losing a couple pounds, like a keto diet or whatever might work because you're already exercising, maybe you're already getting steps in, you're already working out at the gym. It presupposes that you're already doing several other things that you need in order to lose weight.
Okay.
And then you try the diet, and that's just the diet that's easy for you to do with all of the other things. But a lot of people who are struggling to do weight, like they're not doing any of these things. They're like, oh, well, let me try keto.
Got it.
Right.
Got it. So then it sounds like the central premise, and we'll see if there's any videos like this, is that, again, and this is going to be like a bold, I know this isn't what you mean, but this is the simplest version. Dieting doesn't work. Let's just see if there's any videos about this. Because now I think I understand. What you're trying to say is that like dieting by itself maybe isn't really the answer.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's very much.
So let's see.
Yeah, right. Actually correct.
So let's see how many. So like just right away, like this video has 84,000 likes. Wait, can you guys chat? Can you guys see this? Dalton, can you see this video?
Yeah.
Okay. I don't even know if this video is the same idea, like trying to teach the same lesson as yours, but look at the language, like how simple this is. Stop dieting like a fool. And so right away, like, it's super simple to understand. And I know right away before I even watch this that he's going to show me the right way to diet. Okay, so I don't know if that's, again, the premise.
So, like, if I wanted to redo the caption on that other video, maybe something like, you need more than a fad diet.
So this is a great exercise. So try it one more time. Try it. How can you, with what you just said, how can you make that simpler?
Fad diets alone won't work.
See, this is a great exercise, guys, because also here's, I guess I was giving you a trick question. In my mind, the simplest version is this right here. Stop dieting like a fool. Because I don't know what a fad diet is.
Oh.
I mean, I think I understand. Like fad, you're talking about keto and
Yeah, keto carnivore, but I guess yeah, I didn't
Carnivore.
even
See, you see
recognize
what I'm
the fact
saying?
that
Like,
yeah,
I don't. You understand very clearly what a fad diet is, but I've only heard that term maybe 2 or 3 times in my life. Like, I'm very familiar with keto. If you were like, if
mm,
you had a hook that said keto, like keto doesn't work, right? Now, I mean,
right,
now you're calling out people that do keto, so it's not going to get as many views as this. But again, I mean, your goal might not be to go viral, so I'm not saying this is right or wrong. But I'm saying like the words you use, as I've learned from my experience, matter so much more than any of these other like tactics on hooks and super hooks. Before you like really spend a lot of time with the right frameworks and scripting and all this stuff, how can we simplify the language? How can we make it so that more people understand? Because like that was a good exercise. You kept mentioning fad diet.
yeah.
I think I know what you mean, but you and I are speaking two different languages still.
So that begs the question, like when I'm writing these hooks, like because my like my brain, I guess maybe it's just like a muscle that I have to work,
Mm-hmm.
but I certainly have a tendency to go to the more advanced stuff.
Yep.
So how do you think about this? Like when you're writing a text hook, like how do you identify whether or not you're going simple enough?
That's a that's a great question, man. First off, how does your time look? Because I'll give you an answer, but I want to make sure I'm respectful of your time. I know you have something you have a something you got to attend to. You okay on?
Yeah, I mean, it's not like a mandatory thing. So,
I just know that my computer's a little bit behind on time. So what time do you have here? Three
I
fifty.
have I have 354. I mean, honestly, like it's recorded anyways.
Yeah.
So, and this is super helpful.
What I
So,
what I could do too is I'd be happy to. I'll give you like a quick 2 minute response. You go to your thing, and again, this will be live on my YouTube for the replay. Um, whatever works for you, man. I just again I want to respect your
yeah, no,
time.
we can stick with it.
Okay.
Yeah, not that I didn't think this was going to be helpful, but this is probably so much more helpful for me at this current moment than that other thing's going to be anyways.
Whatever.
So,
Yeah, I mean, no obligation at all. I know we're on live stream,
yeah.
but seriously, like, I have a million things that I can talk about here. I'm always thinking about content. So, your question about like the text hook, this is a skill that this is a just so everyone's aware too. This is a muscle that I am currently developing too, um, and there's, and I'll preface this by saying there are no rules to anything I'm
Hmm.
saying. I can just tell you my train of thought when I'm creating a text hook. And that, like, for example, there's a video that I'm going to post not today, but tomorrow that I've been ruminating in my head for the past couple days. I don't know if the video will do well. If it flops, then you guys can call me out and say I'm a fake guru or something. Or if it does well, then maybe this is helpful for you guys. But um, the video is about becoming an original creator, or basically how to have original thoughts. And so what I just did to you right there, where like I tried to explain the concept to you, but then I said, but actually it's like this. I said it's actually about how to have original thoughts. That's going to be my text hook, because I just like, this is a good exercise that I've been learning. I just tried to explain what the video I'm going to make is about, but then I backtracked and I said, well, it's actually about how to have original thoughts. And so my original text hook was going to be the myth of originality, because the whole video is about that. Again, how to have original thoughts. And then to dive a little bit deeper, it talks about how there's no such thing as being original, which also could be a good text hook for me. Because again, what I'm just saying, like the video's about, should probably be the text hook. The simplest version of what your video's about as the text hook is usually a good call. For example, this video here, when I watch it over and over and over again, so I do the text hook last on a lot of my recent videos. This is, again, a skill that I've been developing recently. And so what I'll do is I'll watch the video over and over and over again, and then I think to myself, what is the simplest summary of this video that also would cause someone to watch? So, for example, this video is all about yap mistakes, and I'm talking about my mistakes that I've made from videos that have flopped. And so why would someone want to watch this? Well, if I put the word avoid in it, then it might be helpful to them. And so hopefully that's like that exercise makes sense to you. But I put the text on last, and it's simply just the simplest summary of my video that I think could appeal to the most amount of people. And then I try to think about what would cause someone to watch this and share this. For example, I said avoid yap mistakes. Then I said these killed my reach. I put that there in brackets because I figured a lot of people want to know, like, oh, what killed his reach? You know, I don't want it to kill my reach, so let me watch this video, let me comment, and let me share. But this is simply just like the simplest summary of the video. Same thing like with this, even though this video didn't, whatever. I mean, it did fine to me, but to other people, they might think it's a flop. This whole video is about, again, another avoid this mistake. If I were to do this again, though, I probably would have changed this. I said avoid this mistake before blowing up. I probably would have changed this to like avoid this mistake with your personal brand, just because personal brand is a word that a lot of people resonate with more. But that's just
I see, because whether or not, regardless of whether or not you're blowing up, you do have a personal brand.
Exactly right. And that's why I'm like, when I watch this, I'm like, I probably should have wrote this text hook differently because of what you just said. Everyone knows the idea of a personal brand, but not everyone's blowing up. So this video got 3,000 views. Maybe it was too skewed to, or like when someone watches this based on first impressions, they might have thought this is only for people who are currently growing, right? So like the number one thing that I have learned is that words matter so much. And so for you, the text hook exercise, let me share my screen on your page. I'll give you my thoughts on, like, again, I mean, you could take this if you want to try it. I don't know. This is simply just me experimenting, but I'll try to rewrite some of these for you right now. So like this one, for example, right? This one actually is a really good, like there's a good idea in here because I didn't know that a metabolism increases or decreases based on muscle, which would be called, there's a lot of fancy names for it, but this is basically unique value. Maybe you've heard before that a lot of the reason why people share educational reels or they save it or they interact with it is because it's unique insights. Maybe you've heard that before. There's a lot of different names for it. Chris Chung calls it net new value. We don't need to get complicated. Let's just keep it very basic with the language here. The basic idea is people will, from my experience, share my educational reels if there's something unique in it. This video has something unique in it, which is that you're telling me that a metabolism increases or decreases, but that's not really important. The more important thing is that you say that like people are secretly gaining fat or gaining weight without realizing it, something like that. I can't remember. But there's some sort of like unique thing in here that I had no idea about. And so what I would do for this,
like an idea would be like the hidden reason why you're gaining weight.
Try to, like, this is what I would do. This would be a really good exercise for you moving forward. Because again, this is like something that I've benefited from too. Take that, so you're on the right track. The hidden reason why you're gaining weight. If you were to like just write it on a piece of paper or write it on your notes app, how can you take that sentence and simplify it even further? You want to try to simplify it as much as you can until you get to a point where you can't simplify it anymore. So like, and this doesn't mean you should have like 2-word text hooks, but what I mean is like the hidden reason why you're gaining weight, that actually could be like a really good hook. We'll see in a second, or text on screen. What I was thinking is like, sorry, I'm blanking on it now. There was something about secret. I would probably use the word secret because a lot of people, like, that's a word that people gravitate towards. And, it was you're secretly gaining fat. Now, I don't know if that would do well. That was the basic idea. I don't know if that fits the core premise. I'll have to watch this video again. But now what I would do is once I have a simplified version of the text on screen, let's go to the search and see, like, are there any videos about you're secretly gaining weight? Something like that. And let's see. POV, you gained 3 pounds overnight.
The skit.
So like, look at this text hook again. This guy has 1.4 million followers, 3,000 likes. You gained 3 pounds overnight. Like, everyone understands what this is, like what the premise of this video is. You know, like, it's a very simple summary.
Mm-hmm.
So let's see if there's anything about like secretly gaining weight. This one says, I just can't gain weight. There's higher up wellness. Here you go.
Let me show.
Here's Foozy. Why you're secretly gaining weight. That could be the hook right there. Why you're secretly gaining weight. Like, it's very simple to understand. Let me see if there's any others. Let's try that. Let's try secretly gaining weight. Now, guys, why? Just so everyone's aware too. Like, why am I doing this exercise? Once I have the text on screen, I try to see like, oh, I don't know why it says. Did it autocorrect a secret to eating donuts? I don't care about that.
I think so.
I'm doing this exercise not to encourage Dalton to like copy text on screen from other people, but I do this myself. This is what I do myself. Once I have a simplified text hook that I think is a good summary of the video, I then see like, are there any other videos that use this text on screen or have this as the core summary? Because that is a good way to validate if the topic is a good one to talk about. Right? Like, we just saw that one about why you're secretly gaining weight. That one, I think, did pretty well. So this is probably... I mean, it's a topic that I would want to know. So I think it's a good topic to do. Let me try one more thing. Avoid weight gain.
I have.
So that same video from Higher Wellness popped up on the last 3 searches.
I know.
I have.
He's a legend. Shout out to him. Yeah, I mean, for me, if I were doing this again, oh no, that's for the dieting video. You won't gain weight eating more calories. That's probably a good one. Yeah, I mean, it seems like the premise of the core summary of your video is secretly gaining weight. So I would probably just have that as the text hook. Like, you're secretly gaining weight and you don't know it. Something like that.
Or what if like, what's secretly keeping you from losing weight?
Oh, that's not bad. See there. So now we're on the right track. What's secretly... There you go. See, like, this is a good exercise. That's what I'm saying. Like, this is a good exercise for you to do. Same thing. This is the exercise that I do. I look at higher up wellness.
Did you know that?
If you can't lose weight, watch this. This is probably the simplest version of what this video is that we're trying to decode, right? So your video was like, why your metabolism keeps decreasing, right? This is the simplest summary of that. And you could still talk about the metabolism decreasing. Like, look, he says, did you know that in 1992 they did a study where they followed subjects, and now he's going to say something super complicated. But the text on screen is super simple. Everyone understands, okay, I understand what this video is going to be. If you can't lose weight, watch this.
Right, so they're willing to sit through. I've always wondered how he quotes all these studies and gets all deep with information, has people care about, and that's because they understand why. I guess it's the similar thing of like when you go see a movie, they have just enough in the trailer so that way you kind of think you know what the movie's about, and even though you don't know, you're willing to sit through and find out.
It's you guys probably hear this term a lot, and I know a lot of like marketers throw this around, I guess maybe just to show their chops that they know about marketing, but maybe you've heard the word packaging before. Alex Hermosi, for example, like if you watch any of his videos, he talks about really complicated stuff, but well, for the most part, I know a lot of his videos can be kind of like simplified a little bit further, but for the most part, he talks about pretty advanced topics, but his titles and thumbnails are like, if you're in your 20s and you're broke, watch this. You know what I mean? Like, it's very simplified. Same thing with Higher Up Wellness. He's talking about something super complex, but he's adding like the simplest summary of the video as the text on screen, and also giving someone a reason to watch. And it's clear, like, that's what I'm saying. This is a good test. This is a test that I'm constantly doing on my page. It's also a good test for you. Is before me even watching this video, is there a reason for me to watch it and share it? Which for this video, there is. I would want to watch this because I'm going to gain the knowledge of not losing weight, and I would share this to someone who's also struggling with losing weight, right? But the metabolism decreasing, like, I wasn't really sure what the video was going to be about. So hopefully that helps. I know we're way over time now from what you were trying to go to, Dalton.
Yeah, no, that's super helpful. So I just want to make sure, like, I understand kind of like, okay, like, you have a video. I always write my text hooks last also.
Yep.
So you write the text hook, and then you kind of think probably, like, based on my current data, I'm going to say I need to go 2 layers simpler than whatever my initial idea is.
Yes.
And then with that idea, type it just into the search on Instagram and see if there are any outlier videos that have a hook that's, similar words that are like simple like that.
It's an exercise you could do. I wouldn't. It depends on the level that you're at. Like, if you are, you would know this. But like, this is why I'm saying. This is why I like to say, like, I'm not trying to give advice. I'm trying to give my learnings, because you ultimately will make the assessment yourself. If you determine for yourself that you're at a level 2 in my levels of content, where you want to get better and you want to try to learn more of the skill, then you could do what I just did. And write down a summary of the text hook, and then go and see, like, are there videos with that topic in mind that are doing well? It's a really good way to validate the video. But you could also, right? It's ultimately up to your decision. You could also just keep doing what you're doing and then just try the exercise of simplifying the language. Both of those will help. So depending, again, whatever's simplest for you. I don't want to go, like, for example, I was telling you guys yesterday that I wanted to show a little bit about Eden and topic research and stuff that I do with the content system. I don't want to go too into the weeds just yet until you are ready to really hone in and increase your skill set. So it's ultimately up to you. Just know that all the advice works. You could do exactly what I just did. That's what I'm doing currently. So I will write the text hook. I'll then go on Instagram. I actually will use something like Eden instead now. And I'll go and just type in the text hook into the Discover here and see if this text hook appears on all platforms. That's what I'm doing now. But again, this is more in the weeds stuff that I don't know if that applies yet. So the basic action items here for you would be, for example, like these videos, you could probably refilm. I mean, try to refilm as much of your content as you can. Honestly, I do this all the time, and use it as an experiment. Like that. I don't know why more content experts don't talk about this, but you have the unique advantage because you have 454 followers, and I do this now even with I'm not like super big or anything, but with my follower count, I'm literally posting a video today that I already posted 2 weeks ago, just with a new test on it. And you could do the exact same thing, because I think that these videos have good, unique insights, but just the way that they're packaged, what that means is, again, the text might just be a little too complicated, as well as maybe the words that you say in the hook. So the first 3 seconds, they might be a little bit too complex. For example,
does your metabolism have to slow down?
Does your metabolism have to slow down with age? I'm already lost. But if you change the wording to, for example, Higher Up Wellnesses, if you can't lose weight, watch this, and then you go into as like the first thing you say something around like, you're secretly gaining weight without eating extra calories because of your metabolism. And now I'm like,
Right.
what? Now I'm like, what the heck? Like, okay, I understand secretly gaining weight, I understand calories, and I understand metabolism, but I'm confused how my metabolism is causing me to secretly gain weight. Like, I would actually try this as an experiment. We'll see if it actually works. If you want, Dalton, refilm this video. Use, if you can't lose weight, watch this, and then for your first hook, say, you're secretly gaining weight without I can't even remember what I just said. Sorry. You're secretly gaining weight without extra calories because of your metabolism.
Without extra calories. I'm gonna write that down.
Those would be the two. That would be the two, or those would be the two main exercises that I would do before even looking at like if the hooks are validated topics on Instagram, whatever. Like, just refilm these videos that you already have on your page, but try to simplify the language. That will be the clearest test for you. This is why, again, guys, like, this is why I do what I do on my page. I test things so I can see with data if certain tests are working. And in order to do a test properly, what you need to do is just take one variable and keep everything else controlled. So in this example, the only thing that I would change here is the language. Keep the format the same. Don't change anything about the caption. Don't change anything about the audio. Don't change anything about anything else, the editing, anything else. Literally, like, sit in this exact spot, refilm this video, change the text on screen, and then change what you say in your script and see if that improves.
Okay.
And if you want, like, the real, like, tactical, those are the main two things. But you could write out your script on a notes app, whatever, and then take it to, and I'll share my screen for this too. I'm sure you're familiar with this. Hermosi does this all the time. All the good guys do this. You could take your script once you have it written out and go to Hemingway. Have you ever seen, or you're familiar with Hemingway?
Yeah, it tells you, like, if it does, how simple your language is.
Yeah, and try to get it to 4th grade, 5th grade reading level, and then film it. So like I said, I think if you took this video and said, if you can't lose weight, watch this, and then your first sentence was you're secretly gaining weight without eating more because of your metabolism, and then you go into as the second sentence, because I think you have a super hook in here. You said, like, I gained 100 pounds last year by doing this.
Metabolism have to slow down with age. The answer
that might have
is
been a
no.
different video.
Oh.
I think that was the video I did 2 days ago.
So, do you mind if I give you, like, a rough outline on a script here for this video? Because this would be a fun experiment here, but I don't want.
Yeah, please.
I don't want
to.
I don't want to take up too much of your time because I know we're at 4:15 now. So, would you rather me write out this script for the chat and I'll send you the recording? Do you have a few minutes? I'll try to do this in like 5.
Yeah, I got time.
Okay. All right. Again, I'm not trying to give you trick questions. I just want you to know that, like, I'm not forgetting that you had an obligation during this time. So, all right. This would be my very rough outline because I think you're unique. The idea in here is not one that I've heard of before, which tells me it's what Chris Chung calls as net new value. It's unique insights. That there's probably some tactical steps here. And so I would do Dalton, script, experiment. Oh, why am I doing this on a Google Doc? I already have your Google Doc. My bad. Hold on. Let me pull up yours. And you're going to see the script that I write you. I'm not going to make it overly complicated at all. I'm just going to give you the basics here. Just so that, again, the main exercise here is just to simplify the verbiage. So this script is for the, I'll say video. If you can't lose weight, watch this. Is the text on screen. The hook is going to be you're secretly gaining weight without eating more because of your metabolism. Actually, hold on. I actually might simplify this even further. So I'm going to do a rough draft of this, and then I'm going to simplify it even further because this is actually too long of a first sentence. but you're secretly gaining weight without eating more because of your metabolism. Super simple to understand, right? Hopefully everyone in the chat understands this. Okay. Second sentence, I might say something like, last year, you said you, wait, what was your achievement that you mentioned? Like you lost a ton of weight, right?
Yeah, I lost 100 pounds. It was a few years ago. Yeah.
I lost 100 pounds. And what was it, the time frame that you lost the 100 pounds in?
It took me like 3 years.
Okay. I lost 100 pounds over the past few years.
But I've actually, well, so I lost 100 pounds, but that was from like 2020 to 2023, and then I've maintained it since then.
Got it. Okay. Something like that. Like, see, again, I'm trying to make this as simple as possible to understand. You're saying the hook, right? And then the reason why, just for everyone, like I know a lot of these people say the super hooks and the hook maxing and the blah, 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 blah. The reason why everyone talks about it is because in my experience, whenever I'm saying something bold like this, I immediately need to validate what I'm saying in order to keep people watching. You know, like why should someone listen to you? That should be directly answered within the next sentence. Basically, doesn't matter whatever you call it, super hook, credibility hook, whatever, blah blah blah. It doesn't matter about all the shiny tactics. Basically, whenever you're saying something as your first sentence that is bold like this, you're probably gonna want to back it up immediately so people keep watching. So the purpose of the first line that I've learned is to get the attention. The purpose of the second line is to hold it. Okay. So you're secretly gaining weight without eating more because of your metabolism. I lost 100 pounds over the past 2 years and I've never gained the weight back. After learning about this. This is the curiosity loop, right? I'm not going to put all the fancy labels onto it, right? Chat, let me know. Hopefully you guys are finding some value in this too. I'm not guaranteeing that this video is going to get 1 million views or anything, but this is how I am currently thinking about my scripts. Every sentence has a purpose. So the first sentence is to get the attention, right? And I'm going to simplify this even further because it's too long. And I'm actually going to make the metabolism be like the... I'll show you guys in a second. But this is what how I'm currently scripting. So get the attention, hold the attention, then open a loop after learning about this. Well, what did you learn? And then you go into the value. So let's watch your video and I'll see if I can reconstruct it. But again, I mean, I'm not going to try to go like super in depth with the script. So hold on.
But for most of us, it seems that it does. The question is why. Simple relationship between the amount of activity we do and how much our metabolism slows down. See, as you're active and you move more, you grow, build, and maintain more muscle mass. And there's a direct correlation between how much muscle mass you have on your body and how many calories you burn passively every.
So here's the beauty of this, right? Literally try just using like these 3 sentences and then go into this. This is your unique insight, right? That you're describing. Like you can just use exactly what you said here, but I would try to simplify the language a little bit further. So I'll show you how to do that here in 1 second. But like everything you're saying here could just be everything that happens after here. So this would be use original talk track. If anything, this is gonna you'll probably see some sort of increase in watch time just by doing this experiment. Okay. And you might even want to try like you're secretly gaining weight without eating more. Instead of your metabolism. Like you might even want to try that. Okay. Because of one thing or whatever. I don't know. We'll figure it out. Okay. So secretly gaining weight without eating more because of one thing. Lost 100 pounds over the past few years. Never gained it back after learning about this. Use the talk track. Let me actually put this into Eden real quick because Eden can give me a transcript quickly. Hold on 1 second. And you don't like. I'm trying as hard as possible to not make this super complicated for you. So hold on.
Yeah, no, this is great. I love seeing your workflow on this.
Because what I think the most important thing that's going to help you right now is not the shiny tactics and frameworks and me using all these tools. It's just by trying one exercise, which is um, simplifying the language. All right, so I have your transcript. So you said, does your metabolism have to slow down with age? The answer is no. But for most of us, it seems that it does. I don't know if we need, here, let me just copy it. I'm going to put it in Google Docs, and we're going to rewrite this. Okay, and if this does well for you, then come back and let us know. All right. So I'm going to take this out. I'm going to take this out. There's a relationship. So I'm gonna read this and I'll tell you when I lose track of what's happening. There's a relationship between the amount of activity we do and how much our metabolism slows down. Okay? That makes sense? Good? See, as you're active and you move more, you grow, build, and maintain more muscle mass.
Well, I guess grow and build are synonyms, so I
Right.
could get rid of one of those.
As you're active, same thing with as you're active and you move more. So I might just, I
Right.
might do, as you move more. I'm sorry, I shouldn't have deleted it like that because I forgot what the sentence was. Um,
So maybe like
as you move more, you build or you grow more. Is that true? As you move more, you grow more muscle mass? I didn't know that.
well, it's move more in the context of um, progressive overload. If you wanted to be super technical, but that's a topic for another video.
Okay. So this would be, okay. This would be, you probably wouldn't want to oversimplify this just because, again, I mean, there's probably nuance to this. But as you move, so what would be the appropriate way to word this sentence here?
So I mean, it's basically like technically like the thing is it's all in levels, like because progressive overload is relative to you. So like if you took an 80-year-old granny
Yes.
and you had her walk up 10 flights of stairs versus the 8 flights of stairs she did yesterday, that is progressive overload for her, right? But for young healthy guys like us, like walking up a few flights of stairs is not a problem. So it's basically to draw attention to like the idea that most people, like, I guess it'd be more accurate to say that you build and grow more muscle when you exercise, like specifically weight train.
Okay.
But I was trying to go with or more active and move because technically, like if you have a really sedentary lifestyle, like you're atrophying muscle all the time, and moving more, just simply going on walks or a few stairs would be progressive overload to you if you were very deconditioned.
Okay. Okay. Does this sentence align with what you're saying? As you move more, you can grow more muscle when you exercise? Is that
Yeah.
okay? So I'm writing this script as an outsider so that you can understand, like, this should be hopefully a insightful exercise to the words you use, even like progressive overload. Like I mean, I know what that means. I think a lot of people in the chat know what that means, but there's going to be a handful of people that don't. And they might be 30-year-old men who are your ideal clients that might want to lose 30 pounds, but they've never hit the gym, right? So like a perfect example here, actually, I won't get into the specifics just because they're a relative of mine, but I have a relative, so I'll just say that. I was going to say how I was related to them, but I have a relative who is that person. He's not a 30-year-old man. He's a little bit older, but he is trying to lose weight, which would be your ideal person. He doesn't know anything about progressive overload. He doesn't go to the gym, so he's just trying all of these what you call fad diets, right? So like even that word progressive overload makes sense to people that gym a lot, like myself, But there are also a handful of people out there that are trying to lose weight that don't gym, and they don't know what that term means. So that's why I'm trying to keep it as simple as possible. But as you move more, you can grow more muscle when you exercise. And there's a direct correlation between how much muscle mass you have on your body and how many calories you burn passively every day each week. Okay?
I guess I could even simplify that to just every day, because every day assumes just passively every day instead of before there was every day, every week, but the second every, I guess, doesn't need to be there, right?
I'm still trying to understand the sentence. So like, and again, guys, like if this is too long of a stream, or Dalton, if this is too long a stream, please cut me off, because I don't want, I want to keep this, I don't want to get too into the weeds with you, and I'm starting to go into the weeds here. So let me backtrack a little bit and just say, like, I'm looking at the script here and I'm trying to think about, okay, what does this sentence mean? What does this sentence mean here? What does this sentence mean? And then what does this sentence mean? When I read this, I think what it means is that the more muscular you are, the more calories you burn without exercising. Is that true? Or is it the inverse?
Yes. No, that's correct.
There we go. Okay, so all we're doing, and I would encourage you to test this, because we can all learn from this experiment, Dalton. Please film this video with this script with everything super simplified, and we could do an A/B test. First video got 500 views. We'll see how many views this gets.
Yeah, no, I'm super excited to test this out.
So it says, as you move, you can grow more muscle when you exercise, and there's a correlation between how muscular you are and how many calories you burn without exercising. So as you get older, we typically tend to move less, and that means, so I would actually replace this with the word but.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe you've heard that advice before. I've tested this. I'm actually going to make a video. This is going to be my next content experiment video that I make. For anyone that doesn't know what I'm talking about with content experiments, I have like a series that I started where I test advice that's online to help people like Dalton and myself that's confused. One of the advice from content experts that they've given is, like, when you use the words but and so, it keeps people engaged longer. That has proven to be true in my case whenever I've done that. So I would remove that word but or so with but. As you get older, we move less. That means that our muscle mass is slowly decreasing, which means we lose muscle, meaning that we are in fact burning less calories. But as you get older, we move less, which means we lose muscle. See, like, even this, we are in fact. Like, we can change this to we are, right? But as you get older, we move less. So we lose muscle. And therefore, we burn less calories. And that's where the idea of saying that our metabolism slows down as we age comes from. It's not inherently because of the age, it's because we're building less muscle. So this would be this at the end of the script would be the central lesson here.
Mm-hmm.
So instead, like, this video, the value of this video isn't the saying about, like, so, okay, actually, this is a perfect example for everyone here. Sorry, guys. I'm getting way into the weeds. So Dalton, please, like, I'm begging you at this point to tell me when to stop. This is why I go on live stream, so I can just yap. But
Yeah. No, I mean, if you're looking for me
This
to stop you, I'm the wrong guy because I'm loving this.
this right here is a perfect example. So you're saying like, and that's where the idea of saying that our metabolism slows down as we age. I've never heard that before. Well, actually, that's a lie. I have heard it before, but maybe once in my life. You know, I'm not saying that to like,
Right.
I'm not saying that to invalidate you. I'm just saying that I'm not privy to this information like you are. And so,
Right.
even this sentence right here assumes that you're talking to someone who has the same knowledge as you or has heard this before, which I have not. Has anyone in the chat heard this before? I'm sure a lot of people in the chat have. I haven't. So, or maybe once in my life, I'm sure. But this is a perfect example where it's like thinking about that in mind too, that a lot of people might not know about this saying that our metabolism slows down as we age, as well as I also want to think and replace these two sentences to match the central lesson. One thing that I've been doing a lot is at the end of my script, having there be like, trying not to use all the marketing jargon. People call it a closed loop. It's basically just like a lesson that's learned at the end so that people if you think about the last video you watch, like if you were to watch a video right now for 30 seconds, you're going to remember the last like 5 seconds of it, you know, versus the middle portion of it. So I want them to, if the last 5 seconds is like, you know, so do this before your next blah blah blah. It's like, okay, got it. This ties everything together like a bow. So
Right.
if you're saying if you can't lose weight, yeah, go ahead.
Well, so I was just looking at the sentence there. It's like the relationship between the amount of activity we do and how much our metabolism slows down. That first sentence after the hook, basically the lesson that we want to leave answers the so what question to that.
Yeah. Say it. Which one? This one. Which one were you saying?
There's a relationship between the amount.
Right here. Right.
Yeah.
Here. Yep. Yes.
So we want to like leave them with the okay. So what? Like, what is the answer to that question?
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
There's a relation. Yeah. Well, I try to think about it like this too. Like if the video starts off as if you can't lose weight, watch this. I am hoping that the end of the video gives me an answer to the start. That's probably the simplest way that I could describe it. So if I'm telling someone, especially if the hook is saying like you're secretly gaining weight without eating more because of one thing, and you're going to go and describe about the metabolism, what this actually is, from my understanding, is not necessarily about the metabolism slowing down. It's about your I'm trying to think about how to word this without confusing everyone, but this video actually, to me, like the central lesson here is that you burn calories passively here, and this is more like, I think what you're trying to get at is if you're not losing weight or if you're gaining weight without eating more, it's probably because you're more sedentary during your daily life. Is that
Yeah.
like
So the idea is that, like, you know, if you're not doing something to build muscle, then you're essentially like you're making everything harder for yourself. Like, it's part of the reason why you're not losing weight is because, you know, I mean, maybe we don't all know, but to me, it's common knowledge you need a calorie deficit from your maintenance calories, right, to lose weight.
Yep.
And we can either do one of two things to find that deficit. We can either move more or eat less.
Yep.
And if we move more, then it further increases the ceiling because of building more muscle.
Okay. All right. So let me read this now. If you can't lose weight, watch this. That's the text on screen. You're saying you're secretly gaining weight without eating more because of one thing. I lost 100 pounds over the past few years. Never gained the weight back after learning about this. There's a relationship between the amount of activity we do and how much our metabolism slows down. As you move more, you can grow more muscle when you exercise. This is where I would say, this is where I would add a but. I feel like we're missing a but. So the good thing with like adding the but transition here, as funny as that sounds, is it helps me further understand what this central topic is. Like, I want the core premise of the video or the core idea to be consistent throughout the whole video. So like we first start off talking about you're secretly gaining weight. The second sentence supports the idea that you know what you're talking about and you've never gained the weight back, so that's good. Learn about this. There's a relationship between the amount of activity we do and how much our metabolism slows down. As you move more, you can grow more muscle. This is, I think, where I'm having a disconnect because I'm like, wait a second, did we lose the topic here? As you move more, you can grow more muscle when you exercise. Yeah, this is now kind of tripping me up here. So now I'm like, huh. Let me think about this now. As you move more, you can grow more muscle when you exercise, but... Okay. Got it. So I actually tripped myself up. This is all part of one sentence. And there's a direct correlation between how muscular you are and how many calories you burn without exercising. Got it.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
And then you have the but. But as you get older.
All right. So chat. I'm about to do something. I do not advise you to do this for scripting. I'm doing this to simplify my language here. So let's open up a new chat in Eden. And I'm just going to say, can you simplify this sentence? Just see what it gives me. Do not take this as an endorsement to use AI to write your scripts, chat. You should always be using your brain, so on and so forth. I do this as myself so that I can refine my thoughts. The more you move, the more muscle you build. And more muscle means more calories burned. Nice. Even at rest. Okay, let me read the first sentence. As you move more, you can grow more muscle. Yeah. Okay. This makes more sense. So I'm going to go like... Shoot. This. And screw the M dash there. The more you move, the more muscle you build. There we go. And the more muscle you build, the more calories you burn, even at rest. This is making more sense now. This is it's actually good that I'm scripting this because I don't know anything about fitness like you do. I mean, I know that's a lie. I do work out quite a bit, but I don't know anything to your degree of knowledge, which means I can give you a very simplified script here. So, the more you move, the more muscle you build. The more muscle you build, the more calories you burn. Okay. Thanks for sticking with me, chat. I know it's a long live stream. I told Dalton that I would stick to 4 o'clock, and now we're at 4:40. And he's skipped his entire meeting that he was going to attend. So, Dalton, first off, thanks for being here still. I really appreciate that. So, all right, the more you move, the more muscle you build. The more muscle you build, the more calories you burn. Even at rest. You might want to, like, when you say this too, you might want to emphasize this because this is not common knowledge. Like, this is, I think in the fitness world they call it, is it NEAT? Is that the acronym for it? Is it NEAT? It's like the...
No, that's non-exercise activity thermogenesis.
Right. Different?
So that refers to walking. Like,
okay, got it.
When you think about just like the amount of activity when you're exercising, when you're exercising, you burn calories in a way that burns your carb source. And then NEAT refers to energy that's burned through like more passive movements, such as just like walking around, pacing, fidgeting. And so that also that refers to like your NEAT will generally go down if you're in too steep of a calorie deficit, just because the body is smart and knows how to conserve energy very well. So if it senses that it's not getting enough energy, it will automatically reduce the amount of NEAT that you participate in.
All right. Got it. Thank you for that, Dalton. All right, chat. We're about to be done. We're about to be done. Oh, thank you, Dana. Because now I think this is a pretty solid script. I'm not gonna lie with you. All we need to do now is just have like a main takeaway here, so that there's a reason for someone to share this or for someone to save this. Like one thing that I've been thinking about a lot with my scripts, and again, guys, like I can't preface this enough. Do not take this as me advocating for you spending 2 hours of your day each day scripting. I am a nerd when it comes to content, and so I'm doing this for Dalton. I don't recommend Dalton to do what I'm doing right now with scripting. I recommend him to figure out how to simplify his language, and I'm giving him a practical application of this, okay? So what I'm doing, I don't advise Dalton to do just yet. All right. So the video starts, if you can't lose weight, watch this. Text on screen. Your hook says you're secretly gaining weight without eating more because of one thing. Also notice, chat, that we didn't steal a verbal hook for this, or we didn't like look for a viral hook. I just talked to Dalton and we pulled knowledge from his brain. This is what it like. These are the steps to become a better creator. Okay. So not saying that there's anything against stealing viral hooks. It's something that we all do when we're first starting, but look at how we were able to do it without relying on someone else. Okay. Pretty cool. So, and this is a skill that I'm recently building here. So this is like level 3, level 4 of my content levels. Secretly gaining weight without eating more because of one thing. I lost 100 pounds over the past few years, never gained it back after learning about this. There's a relationship between the amount of activity we do and how much our metabolism slows down. The more you move, the more muscle you build. The more muscle you build, the more calories you burn, even at rest. That's how I would probably say it. But as you get older, we move less, so we lose muscle. And when we lose muscle, we burn less calories. Okay? That's pretty solid so far. If I watch this, I'm like, okay, this is clear, completely clear throughout the whole script. I know I'm learning about you're talking about the same thing throughout the whole script. Now we just need a main takeaway. What can be like our lesson learned? How can someone avoid doing this? Or like, is the main lesson here to tap more or like move more when you're sitting down at your desk, walk around, blah, blah, blah? What is something that someone can take away here?
So, I mean, I think that if I'm thinking about like what can you do in order, like, I guess the lesson, so what I would want for a client to happen is for them to maintain their muscle mass. Mm-hmm. In order to maintain your muscle mass, you need to maintain activity, if not challenge the intensity of activity you do regularly. And by that, I would say 3 times a week.
Okay. Okay, hold on. Dalton, first off, I love you, man. Thank you for being here. I'm about to say something jokingly. Do not take this as harsh criticism. This is actually making fun of myself. So I'm going to point the finger at me when I say this. I do not know what you just said. So that's why I'm having so much fun with this exercise, because I'm like, dude, you are so knowledgeable that I have no clue what, it literally feels like I'm either just the dumbest person alive or you're the smartest person alive, and I'm starting to think that you might be the smartest person alive, dude. So what did you just say?
That's so funny. Yeah, so basically, like, you need to maintain your muscle mass, right? Okay. And the best way to do that is strength training.
Okay.
So
my question for you is, if we're talking, and sorry also if I've like completely doctored this script. I know, like, by simplifying it, we've seen it kind of transform in real time. So I know we're repackaging the same core idea here in a different light. what I'm thinking about now is, okay, if the first thing I said is you're secretly gaining weight without eating more, is there something that they can apply to avoid secretly gaining weight? So that would be, is basically the core idea here as you're talking about this here. Is it to avoid secretly gaining weight that we need to move more, like to be at rest less, or is it to train more, or is it to do a bit of both? Like, is there something that we can tactically do after watching this?
Yeah, so I mean, you would need to, I mean, you would need to build more muscle, like maintain your muscle mass, right? Because the
Okay.
idea of what's going on, why you're secretly gaining weight, is you're living a
Losing.
sedentary lifestyle.
Got
You're
it.
losing that muscle mass,
Perfect.
and
Perfect.
so while you're eating, the same calories, you're just passively burning less calories every month.
Perfect. Okay. Perfect. Everyone give a round of applause with Dalton and I. We've cracked it. That is exactly what I was looking for. Basically, the central lesson here is that I'm going to rephrase this and tell me if this is accurate to what you're saying. Everyone focuses on like the diet, the training, and everything, but what you're talking about is like, or nobody focuses rather on the sedentary things that we do from 9 to 5, right? Like if we're sitting at at our desk, and that is secretly eating away at us, or that is secretly causing us to gain weight because we are living sedentary lives throughout our days, right? Basically, or is it the fact? Is it
oh
the
wait, go on with you.
is it the sedentary lifestyle coupled with training less, or is it the sedentary lifestyle coupled with just aging more? So we have to train harder.
So
I know there's nuance.
Yeah, there's nuance. So
Yes.
it's like technically the answer to both of those questions is yes.
Okay.
But so basically, the first one is more directionally correct to the topic of this video.
Even the words directionally correct, man, you were a freaking genius. I'm like, wow, this guy's smart, man. Directionally correct. Okay, fantastic. Okay.
So you're inflating my ego right now.
That's great. No, I just, yeah, no, it's great.
Yeah,
I really appreciate that you are hesitant to say things boldly because there's nuance, which is also my worldview as well. So I know I'm like simplifying a lot of stuff, but I love that you're challenging me, saying like there's nuance. We can't just say, one thing or the other. So I love that.
Yeah, but it's also not lost on me that the level of nuance I prefer to speak in is quite possibly the worst thing for social media.
Yeah. Yeah.
So when it comes to like the sedentary lifestyle, because of the sedentary lifestyle, you lose that muscle mass. So if you want to preserve your muscle mass, you need to strength train.
Okay.
I don't know if that helped.
Let me ask one further question. Is there something that someone can do during their sedentary lifestyle to preserve their muscle loss, or to prevent losing muscle quicker as they age? Such as, like, if you are sitting at a desk all day, an exercise you can do is every 15 minutes go walk around the desk or something like that.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I would say find ways to regularly exercise and to challenge your capacity of exercise. So that means, like, if not only find ways where you can go for that 15-minute walk, but try and make that walk faster, try and make that walk longer, try and do more of those walks.
I'm just gonna brain dump, and then we'll refine it. So as we age and continue to live sedentary lifestyles, our metabolism, we lose less calories. Even right? Is this might be like actually a pretty good summary of it all.
As we age, we continue to live lifestyles. I'd say burn less calories to keep the language consistent, right?
Okay. See, while everyone focuses on the right diet or the right workout routine, I'll say nobody talks about how most of us sit 8 hours a day at a desk Okay, so now I'm going to put this into Eden and see how I can simplify it again. So this is how I've been using AI chat with my content, not to write stuff, just to refine ideas. Thank you, Dana. I really appreciate it. Thank you, Alina. Thank you for the feedback. Most of us sit at a desk for 8 hours a day, and as we age, we burn fewer calories. Nobody mentions that sitting 8 hours a day and getting older means the same diet and workouts stop delivering. Nice. There we go. Oops. All right, there we go. So this is like the unique, this is the insight, and then the lesson learned here, the tips to take away. The last one, this is the last sentence, then we're done, which is what you said. The best thing to do is to challenge yourself to, you said, increase the intensity of stuff that you do outside of the gym and not just in it.
Well, sorry, I'm trying to read the last thing that you said, wrote there too. Yeah, so the best thing to do would be to consistently challenge your intensity, which I feel like is one of those things where like people instantly wonder, what does that mean? But so consistently,
basically like try to walk more, try to walk for longer periods of time, try to.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I may have been a little misleading there, because like walking isn't really the thing I would tell somebody to do. It'd be like,
okay,
you know, like, I mean, it would be exercising. So like doing squats, for example, right? But you could use that squat as like, it could be really, in reality, what it is it's like 10 exercises. It's not just one.
Okay.
right? But on all of them, you would want them to try and do them more often, try and do them heavier, try and, make them more intense and do them more often to preserve muscle mass.
And this is not only progressive overload with strength training, but also just exercise in general. Like
Yeah.
try to make all exercise that you do in the gym and outside of the gym more intense each day, basically. Is that a fair assessment?
Yeah. Yeah. Try and make it, yeah, increase the intensity over time. So, like, you know, uh, yeah.
I'll just say each week, whatever. Just keep it simple. Then
Yeah.
you can always refine it. That's pretty much it. These are a little bit wordier, so let me read the script. But this is done. This is the tactical stuff. Takeaway. And I would probably, and out of the gym, I would emphasize these because this is non-obvious. Like a lot of people, not everyone, but a lot of people are familiar with like progressive overload with strength training. But I personally have not considered progressive overload outside of the gym. Like progressive overload when walking, when squatting, or when jogging, or when I don't know. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
So
No, that's actually a really interesting point you bring up. Yeah. Progressive overload applies to everything. Um,
I would emphasize this. So like the way I would say this is like the best thing to do is to consistently increase the intensity of your exercises. Yes, in the gym, but I would actually say but. So it like really this point really stands out. So it'd be like the best thing to do is consistently increase the intensity of your exercises in the gym, of course, but also outside of the gym each week. Something like that. So it really like emphasizes this point.
yeah. And I think that does like while like I can acknowledge that there's a ton of nuance that goes into that, like that's actually the truth of what I was trying to get to. Is like you kind of do need to be challenging yourself. Like you need to, because by challenging yourself, you are going to in fact preserve your muscle mass.
Let me see if I can make this just any simpler and then we're done here. Again, chat, I don't let this be me advocating for AI for script writing. I just do it to simplify my thoughts. Which, Dalton, maybe this could be a tactical tool for you, like just to do this, just to simplify thoughts with AI like this.
Yeah, I'm probably going to steal that from you.
Could be tactical. Okay, yeah, here we go. Best thing to do is to regularly increase the intensity of your exercises in the gym. Keep increasing the intensity of your workouts. Yeah, that's... It's to, of course, is to keep increasing the intensity of your workouts. Of course. Now. Nice. And then you could, even if you wanted to, like if you were trying to get clients from this or something, because you've just given me tactical value, but you haven't answered the question. And so you could, if you wanted to, I'll leave this as an optional call to action for you. Optional CTA. You could say, if you want to know, and if you want to know which exercises are best to do outside of the gym, comment. Anyone have a word for Dalton that we want to use here? Dalton, do you have a word that you want to use here?
Could be like outside.
I was about to say outside too. Come outside, and I'll send you some gift, right? What
I would say,
this is
and
again.
if you, I wouldn't say
option.
which exercises. Yeah, I would just say like, and if you want to know what to do outside of the gym.
Yep. Comment outside, and I'll send you whatever you got. Some sort of answers.
I can refine the CTA. That I feel confident writing.
All right. Now the last thing I'm going to do, Dalton, you've been on here for 2 hours, man. I don't think you expected. You and I were talking. You're like, if I can get out of here in an hour, and now we're at 2 hours. So, first off, thank you, and I apologize. But chat, the last thing I'm going to do with Dalton before we hop off. So I'm just going to do a quick test. This is what I've been doing too. You can take it or leave it if you want. Dalton, I think this would help you. That's why I'm going to do this for you. Super tactical, something super helpful for you is I've been trying to keep my scripts to 30 like my videos to 30 seconds because frankly, I'm not good enough to have a video or keep someone's attention for longer than 30 seconds yet. And this could help you because then you don't have to like ramble on and on and on for a whole lot. This when you have a 30-second timer really forces you to simplify your language as well as like each sentence that you say should be super important. So I'm going to put this timer on. I'm going to see if I can say it in 30 seconds. All right. You're secretly gaining weight without eating more because of one thing. I lost 100 pounds over the past few years and have never gained the weight back. Oh, whoops. Sorry, it's my first time reading the script, guys. Sorry. Let me try one more time. You're secretly gaining weight without eating more because of one thing. Say, I lost 100 pounds over the past few years and I've never gained the weight back after learning about this. There's a relationship between the amount of activity we do and how much our metabolism slows down. The more you move, the more muscle you build. And the more muscle you build, the more calories you burn, even at rest. But as you get older, we move less, so we lose muscle. And when we lose muscle, we burn less calories. See, while everyone's focused on the right diet or the right workout routine, nobody mentions that sitting 8 hours a day and getting older. So we're going to be a little bit over 30 seconds, but this is a pretty good script, I think. So let me try.
Yeah, I mean, that probably will clock in like low 40s.
Yeah, it'll be like 40, 50 seconds, but I think it's still fine. I would just do, my last test is just making sure the value of each sentence is good. I think the value of each sentence is pretty good. This is good. This is a rehook. This is good. Best thing to do is to keep increasing the intensity of gym exercise in the gym, of course, but also outside of the gym. Yeah, I mean, this could be even like 50 seconds, but try this. I think this could be a good script for you.
Yeah, no, I'm gonna definitely give it a shot. And yeah, no, this has been super helpful just to see a different way to think and write about scripts because I only have like the way that I've been doing it. So kind of like firsthand working, like getting the front row seat while you apply your process has been super helpful. So thanks, Sean.
Of course. Chat, as always, like this is, I'm sharing what I'm doing currently, what I've learned. This is not, I am not saying by any means to Dalton that he needs to have a super complex framework to his videos, that he should spend 2 hours of his time each day scripting. The main premise the main takeaway for Dalton after this conversation is to simplify. Make the verbiage as simple as possible. This script was simply an exercise, or we're going to use this as an experiment. We're going to put Dalton to the test. We're going to have him film this video, and we're going to see, does simplifying his language help increase the engagement of his videos? If it does, you guys can all come back to this live stream and say, Sean, you're onto something. And if it doesn't, feel free to come back to these live streams and say, you are a waste of time. So, Dalton, thank you, man. I truly appreciate you being on here for so long. Is there anything else you had questions on? Did you find enough value from today's session?
Yeah, no, today was great. I definitely have some solid, like simplifying just the text hook thing alone is going to be super helpful. And even just like me explaining the videos, realizing how much of a gap I'm creating as far as like, where my expertise level is and where the
Yep.
layman's understanding of these things are, was very super eye opening. Where I'm like, oh, I see, I see the problem now. Not the problem, but like this is obviously like thing that I'm like, okay, this is probably something I need to focus in my attention on.
Sure. Sure. Dalton, I cannot apologize enough for taking up your entire meeting space. Will you be able to reconnect with those guys that you were supposed to meet with?
Yeah, the call's recorded, so it's all
Okay.
good. It was,
Okay.
so I'll just catch the replay. It's
Cool.
not a big deal.
All right, chat. Thanks for joining this stream. I'm gonna end the stream here. Dalton, if you have just a second, I want to send you this document as well as some other gifts. We'll do that off this live. I appreciate it, guys. Thank you so much. We'll catch you guys for tomorrow. We're gonna be helping someone else tomorrow, and I will try to make sure that tomorrow's live stream is not 2 hours long. But thanks, guys. I appreciate it. Talk to you tomorrow. All right. Dalton, man.